Hey, this is Dave Pryor. Welcome to Agile 2019 here in the Leading Agile booth. We're doing interviews all week long with the folks that make Agile happen. And this is like superhero team-up hour, or 10 minutes of time right now. So Lyssa Adkins, Maria Matarelli are both here, and you're working together, which I don't understand how that's happening, but what's going on?
Yes. Well, Dave, we are collaborating on a project of personal agility.
Okay.
So personal agility is the concept, a lot of people are applying Agile at work, but it's taking the concept outside of work and applying Agile as an individual.
Okay.
And so I think it was last year at the Experience Agile Conference in Lisbon, Portugal. Peter Stevens and I were presenting, and Lyssa was there. And she was like, well, Lyssa, you tell me, what intrigued you about personal agility?
Well, I loved their story of how each of them has been using personal agility to get more of what matters in their own lives.
Right.
And I was in a big transition, having sold Agile Coaching Institute, still being involved in that, but not being my responsibility anymore, and thinking, where do I apply myself next? What's the next greatest good I can do?
Yeah.
And really sitting in that question. And so I talked with Maria about it, and she's like, well, just try it. And she has this portal that you can go on and just do a solo journey yourself of 4 weeks to get yourself organized using the personal agility system.
Okay.
And then we've actually this year done a cohort of people going through it together and having a weekly call, which was
that's awesome.
I wish I had done it that way, actually. But it was still awesome, even just the solo journey. And so I sort of became a convert, and one of the things that became really clear to me is that one of the things I am doing is amplifying women's voices in the Agile community. So not only do I love Maria for the model of serial entrepreneur she's been in our community, she has this amazing thing that's made a difference in my life, and how can I champion that? How can we work together so that more people can have the goodness?
Cool. So how do you define personal agility? I mean, I know it's taking the practices of Agile into your own life, but what does it do? Like, what's the outcome? That was my Agile outcome that we're looking for.
Yeah, great question, Dave. So when we think about Agile and you try to apply it outside of work, you can use the visual task board, you can use the same concepts, you can plan in sprints. But one of the challenges that I face, because I've actually used Agile in my life to achieve a lot of the things I have, from launching an international consulting company, even launching an international DJ career, all these things was applying Agile techniques. But one thing that I was missing was sustainable pace. And there was something missing in just applying Agile, where when you look at your life, having a couple more checks and balances can help. And you don't necessarily have a Scrum Master and a product owner, so it's not like a one-to-one fit. So what we've put together is the personal agility system, where you have a priorities map, and you look at limiting your WIP of what are the things that really matter to you. And then we have a forces map and a breadcrumb trail as tools for being able to better visualize what matters in your life. Now, what's interesting about this is it also scales to the organizational level. If you know what really matters, if we can have people on the same page, and Lyssa and I have a couple of other things we've been exploring with personal agility in organizations. I mean, there's even companies that we've consulted that, and I'm hearing this from other trainers as well, and coaches, there's companies on their second round of an attempted Agile transition.
Or fourth or fifth.
Yeah.
And so what's missing? Why isn't it working? And imagine if people truly embraced what Agile was on an individual basis, could we shift the culture of the organization? And what if leaders truly understood and embodied what it is to truly use Agile? And could they understand and empathize more with the teams and set them up for success more? So that's where this is going, and the system that we have really has the checks and balances all built in to help someone be successful in that.
So, can I give you like a real life example?
That's what I was going to ask for.
From when I started using it.
I don't have to do any work here at all. Go ahead.
So when I started using it, I kept a list of my learnings per week. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do this unless it really is benefiting me. And one of the really early learnings was, oh my gosh, I actually have a personal work in progress limit.
Yeah.
I do. And there's no getting around it. It is what it is. And I was just getting so clear of how I was stacking stuff into my life and into my work that actually wasn't contributing to what really matters to me. This whole system made that really clear. And also really clear that I couldn't actually pretend like I could get more work done in a week than I could really get done.
You just have to increase your personal velocity.
Well, okay. I tried that too. And there's just a limit to that. And so like coming back to what Maria was saying about leaders and organizations, I have a dream, and in fact, I've built personal agility system into my one-on-one coaching with Agile transformation leaders, that they use it, because my dream is that if we have to confront the things that Agile has teams confront, if we have to confront it on a personal level and feel what that's like, then when we organizational coaches and consultants go to leadership teams and say, look, there's too much whip in the organization, it's not like a generic concept. It's something they felt in their own life and work, and like, oh, you're right. Like, that's not going to work. Yeah.
So how did you go about changing your whip? Did you just bail on a bunch of stuff, or?
Partially.
Okay.
Partially. I got really clear about what really matters, and I got really clear about all the things I add to my life that are just distractions from getting myself to what really matters.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of it. What did I do about the whip? I think I started working smarter too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you changed your, I mean, when you were talking about before when your whip was out of control, I'm assuming that's when you were homeless, living all over the planet, going to Fiji all the time, but you needed something to, like a home, some grounding thing, right?
Yeah, and what happened for me is I realized that nothing that I thought mattered really mattered at all of all the things I was doing. And this was a big epiphany I had a couple years ago, living this amazing life of traveling the world, but completely exhausted and not feeling fulfillment. Cool stuff, but very lonely, as many of us know as traveling consultants and trainers. And what I found was that I completely neglected my health, and I ended up in the hospital several times. And it was so bad that I didn't even realize that nothing else that I did even mattered if I wasn't healthy enough to walk and to be able to continue doing the things that I did. And that was one of those moments where I realized I needed to completely put my life in a different perspective. And using the personal agility system, the way that it's set up is it walks you through exactly how to make those conscious choices and to visualize and reflect back on a weekly basis to say, were the things that I did the right choices to support what I say that matters, even though our actions often don't align?
So this is the thing I want to ask both of you, because I have found that when I try to do these kind of assessments of what truly matters to me and how does that map against what I'm doing or how I'm feeling like compelled to do all these things, it's often the things that I feel are most important are totally not related to the stuff that I say that I care the most about.
Yeah.
So that happened?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Totally.
Well, and that's actually why it's such a powerful system, is it helps you visualize it, and it's more than just a task board. It's the way we have the powerful questions built in, and it's the cadence, and there's a couple extra things that make it more than just doing Agile outside of work. And I think, Lyssa, it was amazing to hear your insights, because as Agilists, we've been using Agile in our lives, but you said even this was different for you.
It was. This is like, so here's how I was doing it. Post Agile Coaching Institute and post my responsibility for that, because I'm still very involved and I'm still not responsible for it anymore. Post that big thing of sort of doing my best to create a profession of Agile coaching, and also give Agile Coaching Institute the next home it needed to have. Like, what was the question?
The question was, we've applied Agile, but what was different about the system?
Okay, this is it. So I think I encountered what a lot of teams encounter is that the Agile frameworks are intentionally incomplete. And one of the biggest things that's incomplete in the Agile frameworks is this idea of vision.
Okay.
Where are we going? And I had known so many Agile teams working without a vision. They're just slogging through sprint after sprint.
Well, somebody's got a vision up there. They told us what it was.
Or they think it is, or all that. And I had to create a new vision for myself, because I had been, much like Maria, using Agile to just pump out a bunch of stuff.
Well, that's, because we go home, we make our task boards, and we just get more done.
Yeah, right? And exhausted. And not creating what I really wanted, which is like my number one thing on my personal agility board is ample time. It's called ample time. That's the phrase. Ample time for myself, my husband, my daughter, my family, my community. Yeah. In that order. And it has changed everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing, so we've had people using this personal agility system around the world over the last couple of years. We've been experimenting, getting feedback, and we've had people from Germany, Poland, Switzerland, Italy, Vietnam, Canada, throughout the US, like literally all over the world. And I've had a privilege of interviewing each and every one of them. And a lot of what we're hearing are, some people are saying they feel like they're getting more done. We had one guy say he ran out of things to do, which I thought that was
That's
amazing.
An awesome
Time
problem.
for bigger
I can't
dreams?
imagine
Yes.
that problem.
And then, but some people say, well, I don't know if I'm getting more done, but I feel better about what I'm doing.
Higher quality.
They feel like they're getting the right things done.
Yeah.
People are saying they're having better relationships with their spouses. Imagine somebody actually feels more fulfilled and happier in life going into work.
They'll bring that to work with them.
How are they going
The
to
same way
contribute?
that they would bring the opposite with them if they didn't. have
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Exactly.
Cool.
So you want to play a little game?
Sure.
So I did create a new.
Wait, before we play the game, every time Lyssa asks, "Do you want to play a game?" I go, "Oh God, I'm going to be uncomfortable now." So
I don't think so. I don't think so.
But I'm totally ready.
I think
not that
I'm
kind of
all in.
game.
No.
Not like Saw.
I think this one comes back to me actually. So, because what I did, which I didn't realize was an innovation in the personal agility system, was I just kept an extra column in. I used the Trello board for my personal agility priorities map. I created an extra column of my learnings, and every week, like, what is the learning I got from using the personal agility system, or on the weeks I did not do it, what did I learn from not doing it? So I have been using it now for 37 weeks.
Okay. Oh, this is the thing you were telling me about in the hall the other day.
Yeah. So if you want to pick a random number between 1 and 37, I will read my
24.
learning. Okay. Let's see what it was that week. 24 was the week that ended April 7th. Let's see what it says. Okay, and let me make sure I can say. Let me read it, because I might have to change some names to protect the innocent. Okay, I can just say it like it is. Here's my learning the week 24. This helps me remember the little tasks in a week of a big immersion, like when I'm teaching for 5 days in a row. This time it helped me remember to prep for the 10 Women Strong call, and I was able to do that without much sacrifice to anything else. Felt like I could slide that in without too much friction.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One of the things that's unique about the priorities map is we don't just say, what's your plan to do? We look at what are things that are important, things you could do, and let's just look at the possibilities. Let's list it all out. Then let's look at what's urgent. Specifically, is there something bad that would happen? And this was a big epiphany for me as well, kind of along those lines, is I didn't realize, let me just preface this. You know the term, the phrase, the last responsible moment?
Yeah.
I live in the first irresponsible moment, and part of my one of my strategies has been, if I just try to cram as much in as humanly possible, if I can fly from Sweden to Hawaii within 4 days and speak at 4 events in the same week, which I've done, I will try to do it if it's logistically possible. But let's look at what's coming up that's urgent, where something bad will happen if you don't do it. But what if we start sprinkling in the important things before they become urgent?
Okay.
What if you start to take that step back and look at the things you're doing in your life and and the other thing, I actually color code things that aren't aligned with my priorities, because then I can look and say, wow, I could have actually done something that really mattered rather than this thing that is just an outlier, and I'm calling out what I'm doing that's not aligned to make maybe a better choice the next week.
Okay.
I also have a friend, a very good friend, that has just started a business, and this person is also wanting to go through like a transformation and losing weight and a fitness journey. And as we're looking at our priorities map just last week, I'm like, well, I don't see anything you did for your health and fitness. Where was that important to you? Or tell me about that.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I just didn't have time. And she's been doing the same thing.
I know who you're talking about, because she and I had this conversation too.
She's doing the same thing where she's color coding what wasn't aligned with her priorities. And I'm like, so here you're doing these things for all these other people.
Right. And not for yourself. Why are you not
Imagine if you didn't do this stuff for other people, maybe you could have done the things for your own health and for what's important to you.
And then you have more to show up for them with.
Exactly. Sometimes helping yourself is the best way to help the people you care about, because if we go down, we can't help anybody.
Yeah. Cool. So if people want to learn more about this and the program that you guys are working on, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, so one thing we're really excited about is Lyssa and I have collaborated on in-person workshops, but we also have this as an online training program as well. So the way that people go through and each week applying the personal agility system, at the end of 4 weeks, they can become a recognized practitioner. It's a program that Peter Stevens and I put together. We've created the Personal Agility Institute because we were getting requests, because not that the world needs another certification or designation or badge, right? But as we were doing market research and talking to people throughout Europe and throughout Asia, there's people that we're saying, is there a recognition? Is there something I can show my boss? Here's why I invested in this. Can it be used for professional development, dollars toward this? So we actually heard people say, I want to be able to show a recognition that I've gone through this program.
Okay.
And so that's where we created the Recognized Practitioner badge and certificate, so that people can, it's not just you go to a 2-day class and now voila, you use personal agility. It's you've applied it for 4 weeks. You have the learnings. You
and work with an accountability team along the way.
And you get on with someone like Maria who says, show me your priorities map. Yeah. Show me your breadcrumb trail. What did you learn last week?
Yeah.
So it's making sure that it gets embedded in people's lives.
That's cool.
So if people are interested in learning more, they can go to personalagilityinstitute.org and they can find more information. Peter Stevens and I are writing a book, and so we're co-authoring that. The first 5 chapters are available online right now for free download.
Cool.
And if people want to sign up, they can go to personalagilityportal.com and go through the 4-week course.
All right, cool. And what if they want to reach out to either one of you?
So I am Lyssa, Lyssa, at lyssaadkins.com.
Okay.
And Maria at Formula Inc. That's Inc with the K.com, or just go to findmaria.com and you'll find all my social media.
All right, cool. Thank you very much for the work that you're doing and for being here and for letting me get to interview both of you at the same time.
Yes, thank you, Dave.
Super
Absolute
nervous
pleasure.
about that, but I think it went pretty good.
I think
I didn't really do anything, but I think it went really well.
You did great. You did great.
So keep watching. We're going to be doing interviews all day long here at Agile 2019. Thanks.